What's up, Mike? How's it going, man? What's going on?
Good. Just doing good here. Just go back to the office after a long day.
Yeah, man. Of course, of course. Yeah, so what do you do? Who are you? Tell the people.
My name is Mike Fisher. I'm doing our Northern waterproofing and EcoSeal Roof Coatings. I
How
met
are you?
Dev back a couple of years ago. I'd say 2 or 3 years ago now. We've used them on and off the whole time.
Mhm.
We've been, since basically day one, we started marketing for commercial roof coatings. And whenever we wanted an influx of leads to come in, we just turned on Dev and his brother's system, and it always filled our sales guys' pipelines.
Come on now. Yeah, how long you been running? I know because you've had multiple, right? You do some residential, but how long have you been actually operating like EcoSeal?
So EcoSeal was a brand new company name, brand new company. We started on April 1st of this year. The month of April, we started marketing on the 3rd. The company was open on the 1st. We collected 115 leads in our first 30 days, and we just had a landing page. Like, didn't even have a Google my business page up yet, and we qualified over 45 appointments in that month.
In the first month. Perfect, man. And how, I guess let's do this. Let's get some numbers then. Are you all right with going over numbers?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, easy, man. So obviously you started April what? At $0, right? You just opened the business
Correct.
on the 1st.
Correct,
You started marketing on the 3rd.
Yeah.
So that first month, how much did you cash collect?
It was zero. It was actually zero because, unfortunately, here in Ontario, we were not able to start actually installing roof coatings until the beginning of May.
Okay, so you're pre-actively like marketing, getting roofs ready. Were you doing estimates at that time?
Of course. It was a really late start this year.
Mhm.
One of the battles that everyone that lives and works in a northern climate is going to have to deal with. This year was one of the later starts. Didn't start
Right.
spraying till the beginning of May. But yeah, we've sold about $1.5 million right now.
Just in commercial. Okay.
Just a commercial, yep. Since
So that's
then.
2 months in.
Yep, 2 months in.
Pretty good, man.
Yep.
Easy, man. So what else are you doing? Like when it comes to actually scaling the company, like I guess how are you getting your leads besides obviously like paid advertising?
So
Everything.
for brand new company, right? Our SEO is still, it's still getting picked up by the algorithm right now.
Mhm.
So we're starting to ready for some searches. We've got a little bit of organic, but right off the hop, it's been, cold calling, paid advertisements. So primarily Meta using you guys.
Mm.
And one of those things, you got to know, you got to knock the neighbors when you go to an appointment. You look down, we get one lead. And that was one thing that we really did go back and forth on. I think every round we've done marketing with you guys is getting in that targeting. Because the area we live in, we've got I'd say you could call it 4 major metropolitan areas, and spread in between it's all farmland. So really down in that targeting, tight on each metropolitan area, gives us the best quality leads, because when you see, the plant manager of this building right here, well, look around, he's in an industrial area. There's roofs everywhere. So it's talking to the neighbors, flyers. We are actually, I just bought 100,000 pieces of mail. It's going to be going out shortly here. We're talking about QR code and retargeting and whatnot.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is having everything flow together.
Right. Yeah. And with that then, like walk me through, man, because like for most people, they come in, they get the same leads, right? And they maybe get on the estimate and they close the job a year later, 9 months later, 6 months later, whatever it is. Like you just started marketing 2 months ago. You've already done $1.5 million cash collected or closed deals anyways.
Yeah,
Like,
not cash collected. We've done about $1.5 million in closed deals.
Closed deals. Okay. And so I guess when it comes to actually like your sales process, like a lead comes in, can you walk me through like the first 10 minutes of what that looks like?
Lead comes in, they get called by my office, they get qualified depending on which area it's in, which sales guy is going to get booked in their calendar. Realistically, a lot of the times the appointments are going to get rebooked, but in the first call, nothing makes your customer feel better, especially if he's an owner operator, than booking an appointment right then and there. And hey, if Greg's going to come and, he says, well, I can't go there Tuesday at 3, whatever, because he's the master of his own schedule. He's going to redial him back and say, hey, Mr. Building Owner, such and such, reschedule, right? But we always like to book our appointment in the first qualification call if they pass, right? If they've seen the community be a good customer for us. And that's it, right? That's it. We always let them know about the costs for moisture scanning.
Mhm.
And you know, it's
Oh, do you sell moisture? You sell that moisture scanning like that's the first thing you do
100%. Yeah,
every
100%.
single time. Okay.
100%. We
Okay.
we
So,
we let them know that moisture scanning is going to be 1,200, and on a larger roof could be up to $10,000.
and you do that on the first call, like as soon as you're
On the first
qualifying them.
call, yeah, we let them
Okay.
know about it. We let them know about it. If obviously, if they're like, well, I'm not paying any money to do this, some of them you talk them through it and they understand. Other ones have
Mhm.
no interest in it. We're probably not our ideal client.
And that weeds them out right away too. So it saves your estimator time. It saves you gas going over there, right? And you also make. I mean, it
Certainly.
sounds like you're making your money back right away too. Even if you don't sell the job, you're still doing a moisture scan
Yeah,
and making
yeah,
profit.
100%. Actually, I wrote a new ad today for a new position, and actually, what made me think of it was I had somebody in my network reach out to me that's been in sales for 5+ years, young guy, right, hustler,
Mm.
but he knows nothing about roofing. So I figured, how can I give this guy a job and he can learn about commercial roofing before I have him go embarrass himself and essentially waste
Yeah.
my hard-earned leads, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I created a job. So we're going to pay 15%. And normally don't pay a commission on moisture scans because we give that dollar for dollar discount on the roof if they go ahead with it. And that's one of the ways, if somebody's serious, a serious buyer, that's the crush that objection, right? If they have serious intent of getting the roof done, right? It's not going to
Right.
be a cheaper option. We got to qualify you. If you're not willing to spend $1,200 now minimum, it's going to come off the
Yeah.
job in the back end. That's what I mean. Like they're not the right customer for you. But yeah, so essentially, we have cold callers that are going to be calling out and just selling moisture scanning.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense, actually. So you're going to have cold callers selling the moisture scan, and then obviously that's
Selling the
going to turn
moisture
into a
scan.
job.
So
Okay. And so what it looks like, the lead comes in, your speed to lead, ideally under like 5 minutes, right? As soon as you get the lead, you guys are calling them. And then you qualify them on the first call. You sell the moisture scan. If they buy the moisture scan, essentially, that becomes a very qualified lead. You get out there, you book the appointment, you make
yeah,
sure to book the appointment before you get off the phone.
like
And then if there is,
some buyers, believe it or not, like we can close them, have them paid right on that first qualification call.
and is that how you kind of tell like a real buyer from a tire kicker is just the moisture scan side of things? Like if
It's
someone says no to
That was
moisture
never
scan,
the
like,
intent. That was never the intent, but it's actually worked out quite well for that.
okay. Okay. So that's basically the main qualifying question. If they're going to pay something before you even get out there.
Yeah, and you know what? Some people, and let's put it like this. I always tell them, well, whether I give you a quote or not, right? I'm just
Mhm.
doing a disservice to you by giving you the option to buy something that I won't sell you because I'm
Yeah.
not going to go install a roof coating over a wet, saturated roof. Obviously, if budgets are a major concern without doing any other measures like tearing out or drying the substrate or
Right.
insulating beneath.
And that can come back on you too if that doesn't get done.
Yeah, it's just something we don't do, right? We don't do. Manufacturers won't warranty it. No manufacturer's going to warranty going over top of a saturated roof.
Mm.
So why even waste the time of going out, looking at it, whatnot? If they're not going to be, they're not going to be a responsible building owner and own the data. And let's put it like this: a lot of these buildings, we're talking into, the multi six figures, right?
Mhm.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to take 5 different contractors' opinions to steer your buying habits? Or are you going to own the data so you know what you're buying? You know what you need sold.
Now, do you have a sales structure that kind of goes over that? Because obviously, let's say you get out there, they say yes to the moisture scanner. Like, do you get out there? Do you follow a structure, or is it kind of
100%, yeah. So, like everything I'm telling you right now, we've got a whole training system that for
Yeah.
every level that they go through, right? So,
okay?
essentially, you don't need to know anything about commercial roofing to be able to sell a moisture scan or to be able to provide the value because it's pretty simple, right? Roofing's not cheap, especially you're talking commercial buildings. You're
Mhm.
looking at a lot of these roofs are in the 6 figures or multi 6 figures, right? So without wanting to invest, like I'll put it like this: I got a calculator I built. What it is it's just got a slider across on it, right? And it shows you 2 different prices on the bottom. Well, we have our basic $1,200 scan. And that's just for thermal imagery, right? Like there's no thermographer's report or nothing. It's just the thermal imagery. To get the drone out there to take some photos of your roof, it's going to cost $1,200. If you want the full moisture report, which is going to be an impedance scan, you'll be paying for it. So on this calculator, you slide it across, and it's a price that incrementally gets lower per square foot. It starts at 10 cents a square foot. It goes as low as 2 cents a square foot. So when you're looking at the cost per roof replacement, the
Mhm.
teared most flat roofs are going to be anywhere from, say, on the low end, maybe 15 up to $25 on average per square foot. So when you're going to go pick a contractor to make an investment in that range per square foot, don't you think it's rather negligent to not spend 2 cents a square foot or 10 cents a square foot first to have the data so you know what you should be buying?
Do you price, this might be a repetitive question. Do you tell them the price on the phone of the moisture scan? Like if they say, hey, I have like a 20,000 square foot roof or a 100,000 square foot roof or a 200,000 square foot roof, we can get into that soon. Do you tell them, hey, this is going to be like a $10,000 moisture scan or a $15,000 or a $1,500 moisture scan before you go out there, and they agree to pay it before you even book that estimate?
So yeah, a lot of the times they're signing an agreement, e-signature the same day.
Same day. Okay, that makes sense. And so let's talk about that one as well, because obviously with 100 leads coming in from the Facebook side a month, right, booking all those appointments, you're going to get from small to big. For example, you just had one that closed recently. How much was on for? I know the range, but
it was $1,080,000 for the quoting.
Okay.
And then we were another about $200,000 in installing vents to dry this roof out.
Okay. So almost 1.3.
Yeah, 1.28.
1.2. Okay, fair enough. And so for that one, I mean, typically when there's a $1.28 million deal on the line, that takes a year to close, from what I've seen. Right, it takes bigger. Like they have to get capex together, right? They got to get all their budgets together. They got to get everybody on board, right? For you, that was like, I don't even know, it was a 30-day close.
Yep, something, yeah.
From lead to close.
And let's look this way. That's rare. Nobody expects for that to be a regular occurrence, right?
No.
But that being said, some of the largest jobs I've ever done, this being one of them, is that they had a problem, right? They had a problem. We had one we did was actually in a town nearby, and the job was ordered by the Ministry of Labor. They were going to get a shutdown in the plant unless they fixed their roof, right? That thing was that was 100,000 square feet. We came in and we coated it. We started within 7 days of getting the PO. It was a rush by the ministry, because in this plant they pay top dollar and they were rushing through it.
No, because it sounds.
But hang on to that in the same breath.
Yeah.
So I turned 30 years old 2 weeks ago. On my 28th birthday, I sat in this office and I picked up the phone and I cold called. I lined up a 50,000 square foot inspection. 2 years later, we just did our first 6,000 square feet of it. So there's two totally different sides of the spectrum.
And what was your follow-up process? Because obviously 2 years prior, like, are you calling those guys every other week? Are you sending them things? Like, what does that look like to kind of keep the relationship?
Yeah, it's just like we were saying, putting together budgets. So this place here, they built like single wides and kind of like park malls and stuff like that, trailers. And after COVID, they started running a skeleton crew because trailers went down dirt cheap and no one was going, like during COVID, people couldn't travel, so trailers went up huge. These guys scaled up, and what ended up happening was after COVID, they were running a skeleton crew. So they used to have 60 employees in the place. They were running at one point, I think, like 10.
Right.
So it's one of those things. You talk to the plant manager, and he says, Mike, it's not in the budget yet. We're not going with anybody else. We just can't afford it yet. Right.
And so what did that follow-up system look like though for you to actually get that deal?
Let's put it this way. If you've got like a long pull like that, is you follow up with them spring and fall.
Okay.
Spring and fall. At the beginning, right? At the beginning, and we did a spray demo, adhesion test. We showed them exactly what they were getting. And, they folded the numbers to their contractors and said, hey, we can do the whole roof for the other guys, 3 guys that quoted just this one section. We 100% want to go with you. And, we'll see if we can get the budget. And that was like 2 years ago in July, right? See if they can get it done that year. Well, in the fall, they don't have it. So I'd say that would, stuff like that. I guarantee if I called that guy every 2 weeks, he would have got so fucking sick of me and said, hey, you know what? I don't care how cheap it is, right? And we're going to call and find somebody else. It's all about building a relationship with them, right?
Right.
It's the same things like all those jobs that are, some of them, you got to nurture them for a year or two, right? Or you're doing section by section by section.
And are you the one who actually follows up with them personally? Or do you have your sales team on that? Because I know you have a couple guys.
It depends whose lead it is, right?
Okay, for the lead, yeah.
Yeah, it depends whose job it is, right? It depends whose job it is. So, yeah, I'd say the biggest thing is it's the relationship you build with these people. You just remember, that guy, the plant manager, he works there. He's on a salary there, right? If that place goes down, their skeleton crew anymore, He might be working in a different place. You want, when they have a roof problem, that same guy, you want Luke, who used to work here, to Luke to call you and say, hey, Mike, we got a roofing problem. I work here now.
So it's just building relationships.
It's all about building relationships,
whole thing.
right? And
Yeah.
you can't treat every follow-up, especially on something that's a long process like that, the same, right? If I put Luke on an email list where he was getting an email once a week from us saying, hey, you received the rest of it? Hey, did you know about this? Any type of, he would have been like calling us up saying, take me off that fucking email list, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so you, I guess you probably see the difference as well, because you've run residential and you still do, right? You do the residential side.
Yep.
You run the commercial side. I guess, like, what do you think separates you being successful in commercial? I guess let's do this. For you being successful in commercial, forget about the residential side. Like, you've done 1.5 million in 2 months, right? I was talking to a couple of guys today and they've done 200,000 in 2 years. And so what do you think is kind of the difference between you being able to actually get these jobs in, close these jobs quickly, build these relationships? Like, what do you think is the key differentiator between someone who's like just starting out and then the level you're at now?
A big thing is with commercial roofing, it's one of those things where, and realistically, it's a totally different animal than residential. The buying habits has got a lot less emotion in it. In residential, most decisions are made with emotion, right? It's people's homes, right? Whether it's retail or insurance. There's a lot of emotion involved. When it comes into commercial, and especially with commercial roof coatings, it's educating them. It's being able to help them get something, a solution, right? Because at the end of the day, and let's go back into moisture scanning. When you cold call up a factory and you tell the maintenance manager that, and it's exactly like I just told you, well, a roof replacement is going to be in the $15 to $25 a square foot, right? To know whether you need to do some repairs to tie your roof on, even if you don't even need a roof yet, your roof's 10 years old, is rather negligent than not spend the 2 cents a square foot, because they're going to have that in their capital expenditures budget for the roof, right? There's going to be a budget to take care of that roof in that building every single year. Can you squeeze 2 cents a square foot in to have a look at this roof, right? Well, that's him doing his job. When you show somebody value, where he's going to say, be proud to go to his boss and say, hey, look, we've got this contractor. They're going to make sure our roof's good. They're going to scan beneath the layers. That way we know we're not throwing money away and just taking any roofer's word for repairs. Because that's, let's put it this way, a $5,000 or $6,000 roof scan, that's 2 service calls.
Right. And you're providing value before you even get in there.
Certainly. And speaking of service calls, that is I'd say the number one long pull in commercial is having a service department and be the guy who's going to go there in the spring and the fall, check all the drains, check all the parapets, check all the penetrations, because you're going to be the first guy to find a problem, and likely the first guy. Well, you should be the first guy to present the solution.
So building the service department, building that trust, even if it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to actually get the whole building or part of the building. That makes sense. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. And so you're at 1.5 for the year. I guess what are you ideally looking to for the end of this year? 4 seasons up. In
commercial roof coatings this year, realistically, if we did 2 million, if we did 2 million, and the biggest problem here is we have 5 months of spray, right? We have 5 months of spray. We have, the weather to battle with, and we can only produce so much. I wasn't planning on doing anything beyond that. But this is where the difference is. When you're doing 10,000 square foot roofs, what kills you is mobilizations. If you can get on to, a multi-acre facility and you go to town, that's where you make money. Because you can set up and you can go. And realistically, that roof I was telling you, it's 190,000 square feet. That's going to take us 47 working days to complete. 47 working days. On the high end, we'll be shooting at anywhere between 35 and 47. A big factor in that is going to be putting these vents in, and obviously how many days the weather, because there's a lot of day like today. Rain till 2:00, right? We still send the guys to a site. The site was 40 minutes away. They wrap the job up, right? But you burn a day to work for 2 hours.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the bigger the job. But wouldn't it be like, wouldn't you also see, this is just my question here personally, like let's say you have a whole bunch of 5,000 to 10,000 square foot jobs. Wouldn't you be able to price it a heck of a lot higher and make way bigger profit margin on something like that, opposed to?
In theory, yes, but I'll tell you right now, 5,000 to 10,000 square feet, that's still a decent sized roof. Right now, I don't know what the market's like anywhere else. here in Ontario, we are seeing a lot of very cutthroat pricing. So that's another thing is on the bigger jobs, these guys that can handle a 5 or 10,000 square foot roof can't handle a 100,000 square foot roof.
So prices them out of the market.
Yeah, it thins out the pack that you're going to be bidding against.
Let's do this. I mean, let's wrap it up. I think so. And so I guess if you were to, I have no idea where I'm going with this one. I guess what would you tell a commercial roofer who's great on the roof but can't get enough at bats? Like who
Can't get enough oil?
at bats, like someone who knows their way around a roof, right? I mean, I know a whole bunch of guys like this, right? They know how to roof, they know exactly what system needs to get on, but they just don't have enough leads coming in. They don't have enough. I mean, even the bigger one is they get leads, but they just can't close. Like, I guess, like, what would your advice be to someone who's trying to scale their commercial roofing business right now? I guess, yeah. What would be
I really think that you should step back. First thing, look at your pricing. Second thing, look at yourself. Look at your image. Look at your, what your online presence is. Think, would you buy off you?
Right.
Truthfully, that's it. Number one's pricing. Look at your pricing. Make sure, because it's not about, and let's go back and like you're saying with those 5,000 square foot roofs, it's not about, and a lot of the times what it costs, it's what the market will allow.
Mm-hmm.
It's what the market will allow. So say, for example, if, guys are ripping TPO and changing it $7 a square foot, you might want to sell that for $6, right? You might want to sell it for $5. Will the market allow? Yeah. Will the market allow you to sell at $6? Probably not, because the guy's getting close to tear his roof up for $7, $1 more to get a brand new, right? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
So what number do you have to be at where you can make money and still get the work done? I'll give you an example. Spray foam. Like we do closed cell foam. So many guys from Toronto right now that are literally doing stuff for nothing that I can't make money at the prices they are. I get sets of foam for a pretty decent price. And, we're simply not set up to go and, and go work at a break even to keep the guys busy. Some companies, they might need it. They might need those jobs to turn the book to keep the guys busy. But, at the price that the market's going to allow, we're not getting awarded. I'm saying no to high-rise jobs. Some contractors can facilitate it, some can't. With spray foam, we can't play that low.
For high-rise, because they're just pricing it so low?
Precisely, yeah, precisely.
Why specifically on high-rises?
Large jobs, right? Large job. I'll give you an example. We had one, they wanted it to come down 24 cents. And we already were, to me, it was rock bottom. It's 175,500 square feet of foam at 3 inches. And, I think it's going to come down 24 cents. I mean, not a chance.
Makes sense. Well, that makes sense. Any last words before we wrap this up to give value to any other commercial roof out there looking to grow, looking to get their business going? Close more deals. Like secret sauce.
Close more deals. Advice for commercial roofers. Well, if you're looking to start somewhere, I would not recommend you pick a place where it snows half the year.
Right. Go down to Florida. Everybody moved to Florida.
Well, not everybody, but it might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, no.
Very good. Yeah. But okay. Sounds good, Dev. It was nice chat with you.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for hopping on, Mike.
Yeah, sounds good.